Alrighty, so we have the Booster01 that I got sent from HERK, and so that's the company who made my mini PC over here, and I just wanted to do a quick unboxing part of the video so you can see what's inside the box. Now, it's a little heavy. I have not opened this up yet, so I'm curious to see what comes in it. So some specs for you here. Multi-monitor. I am trying to go as fast as I can for you so you don't waste your time, but it is a big box. Okay, so we have the user manual, and in there, pretty simple stuff, just talking about the different ports on there, which is nice how many ports that comes with it. I believe there's actually a spot where you can put an SSD in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I could be wrong. All right, let's just take this out. One thing I love about the HERK products are these nice foam inserts. I actually use mine when I'm traveling for my mini PC. All right. Look at this. So we got all those ports on the side, including Oculink. 40 database. Yeah, this looks like an SSD slot. Power button on top, something switcher. Tons of cooling vents on the side, which makes a lot of sense. Let's see what else is in the box. Ooh, this is heavy. Probably a power brick in here of some sort. Now, for full disclosure, they did send this to me, but I am not getting paid for this video, so all opinions are mine. So we have the big chungus power brick. We have a nice strong USB-C cable, both ends. I believe this is an HDMI cable, very nicely braided and thin. Oh no, this is Oculink. Interesting. And then we have the power cable. So pretty simple stuff, but I just wanted to give you a quick little rundown of what was inside the box. Okay, I'm going to be recording this as I go. This is the first impressions of the Booster01 eGPU. So I had some issues with it turning on and getting it to work with my computer, but I figured my lessons or my challenges that I've had to face would be good lessons for you to also learn at the same time. So the things that I had learned in this process, I think will be helpful to you if you're trying to set up an external graphics card. I'm pretty sure these are pretty universal lessons too. So even though this is a video about the Booster01, I think that other GPUs on the market, they're probably from some similar manufacturers. So some of the issues or positives that you face with this one, you'll probably get with some other ones too. So first and foremost, when you're installing an external graphics card, it has to be uniquely done. And I didn't know this at first, and even like ETA Prime's video on this card doesn't necessarily go into it very much, and I can find very little when it comes to steps. So I think I'm going to try to also make this video into somewhat of a tutorial because I think that'll be helpful for a lot of people. I might go over in the next clip that I do, I might go over some of the steps and that kind of thing. But let me just tell you what I've done so far. I just got done testing it with the game. So this is just my first impressions when it's nice and fresh. This Booster eGPU was sent to me by the company in order to test it out and make a video on it. This is not a sponsored video. These are all my own opinions, but I just wanted to disclose that because honesty is key. Now, I tried plugging it in and I had issues and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Due to my HERK Orion having so many ports, I think that there might have been some sort of issue when it came to bandwidth. Because I know that one of my USB ports had an issue where my microphone kept disconnecting and it caused issues with recording. I replaced it with my keyboard, and if that disconnects for a millisecond, it doesn't really matter. I bring this up because I think that depending on which USB 4 port you use on the HERK Orion, and presumably whatever mini PC you are using, that can make a huge difference. Obviously, it needs to be USB 4 or ideally Oculink if you have that option. But I think the USB 4 port on the back would be more likely useful for something like this. Even though they're both USB 4, I think that there is a difference between them. It didn't work when I tried plugging it into the front. And now that I use it in the back, and I did try this before, it didn't work the first time I plugged it in the back one. But I just wanted to mention this. The other thing is, from what I could tell from again, I'm going to go over this in the the article, but what I can tell from the steps is that you have to use DDU, which I'll link down below. It is a driver uninstaller, and ideally you want to do it in safe mode, although I wasn't able to get into safe mode for another reason. That's something I need to also talk to the computer company about. But I just uninstalled my graphics drivers a couple times actually, and then once you shut down, you plug into the PC using the USB cord, then you turn on the eGPU, and then you turn on your PC. You have to make sure you do it in that order, or else the PC is just not going to detect it, usually at least. Also, I think there's a little bit of iffiness when it comes to like safely ejecting hardware and stuff like that, so you got to be very careful about what order you do things in, especially if it's trying to install something on there. And I also had to go into the AMD website and get the specific model number for the GPU that I had here and download the drivers individually. And now I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but that was one of the things where I think that if I just tried to install it normally, it wouldn't have actually detected the drivers very well. So I'm glad I did that. It was weird because it popped up both the internal graphics and the external graphics at the same time, and I thought maybe that might be competing, but I guess at this point it's fine. And so once I finally saw the change in graphics card, I was able to install it. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually hear it right now because the fan is running kind of loud, despite the fact I'm not actually doing a whole lot. I definitely can hear the fan. I think part of it's also my PC. My PC's been running pretty loud recently too. But between those two things, the fans can get kind of loud. I didn't notice it when I was using my headphones, but I think that that's something to keep in mind when you're using an external graphics card. It's pretty close to you, especially if you're trying to record. So there might be some way you want to position it on your desk away from your microphone. I also found out too that on the right side is where it ejects the air, and that's where my PC is. And so I'm actually going to have to probably flip them around so the hot air blows out the other way, so I'm not providing hot air into my PC. That's just something I wanted to mention to you because I think it's useful. So other impressions, I had issues with like State of Decay being stable when it came to playing on the iGPU, despite the fact of being a pretty decently powerful iGPU. With the eGPU, it seemed pretty stable. I had one little flicker, but I think that might have also just been trying to load into a new area. Could have been like shaders caching. And so I don't know exactly what's going on. I wasn't deep enough test just yet. I need to start actually doing some real tests and some benchmarks and stuff like that, which I'll do after this recording. But I just wanted to give you a quick little update.